Hi there, welcome back. We are in Module 2, Part 4, Transforming Data. And now there would be many subparts in this transforming data where I'm going to let you know each and every step. Right now we are in Power Query Editor. However, before this part, I told you that what are the different storage modes, that is direct query mode, import mode, live connection mode. There is a composite mode as well. So if you would like to know more about these different storage modes in Microsoft Power BI, I'm going to create one document which I'm going to put under the resource material. So please do check that out. Now, in this part, I'm going to introduce you about this Power Query Editor. Let's start with the very first part, which is files. So files is still the same, where you are going to click, you are going to get some of the options. For example, close and apply. Whenever you made some changes over here and then you want those to reflect into your data model or in your Power BI reports, then you have to do close and apply. Otherwise, you can also perform the same operation in two steps. That means first apply and then close. Then you have save as options, and then options and settings where you can change some of the settings. For example, data sources. If you click over here, you would come to this window where you are going to get the different data sources for this current file and also the global files. So you can see that global permissions are those previous connections that I made on this Power BI desktop app. However, we are limiting over here to this current file. If you would like to again re-authenticate yourself whenever you are working any of the Power BI projects, you have to clear the permissions. That means you are deleting all the permissions. If you would like to edit them, then you can edit as well. So you simply need to go over there and you can again authenticate yourself. There are different authentication modes whenever you are connecting to SQL Server, and this can also happen when you are trying to connect with some of the other data sources. Windows authentication, then there is a database where you enter username password of the database, or you can do Microsoft authentication if you are using the same account for everything. Now I'm not going to do any of these, but I would like you as an assignment to explore these options. You can also change the data source if you would like to, and for that you have to again over here provide the credentials, which data source you would like to connect. But since this connection is only for the SQL Server, you can only make the changes over here. Last part is export PBDIS. PBDIS is your data source file, and that you can use to do your other operations on the Power BI file. For example, if you want to use it as a in your Azure DevOps pipeline or any Git integration something, then this is going to help you out. You should explore more this option, and also please do let me know in the Q&A section what did you find about it. So consider these two assignments. One, you have to play with the data source, and secondly, you have to play with the export PBIDS option. I'm going to close it over here. Second option was over here. If you just check, click here and see if you can find that under files, option settings, options. So these are the options basically which you have to always select whenever you are working with Microsoft Power BI desktop. As I mentioned initially, if you want to enable any of the preview features, you have to come and enable them. My recommendation is whenever you are creating your reports or dashboards for an organization, do not use the preview features, because preview features are subject to change in the future till they are generally available. So for production work, please don't use them. But for trying the different features, definitely you can. And furthermore, you can click on any of these actions or the buttons and you will get to know more information about that. Second one would be over here, which is the data load settings. Always uncheck this option, and this would reduce the data set size significantly. Nowadays, we don't call it dataset. In Power BI, we call it semantic model. And this has happened since November 2023 updates. So they always change the names and bring more and more updates. That's why it's happening. So please uncheck this, and also uncheck this over here in this file. So you can see that I always uncheck it. And why is that? Well, this is because when you check this option, so whatever is the date column inside your data set or your data, then it's going to create different tables behind the scene differently. For each column, there would be a different date table. And because of that, it's going to create a lots of more data tables over there. As a result, your data set size gets increased. So if you would like to create the hierarchy, which we are going to create later on, create it yourself, but not from this one. All right, that was the introduction of these two. Well, going forward, there is another tab which is new source. So if you would like to get the data from any other source as well, you can do that into this one, and that is going to make it as a composite model. And what is composite model? Composite model, simply you are getting data from more than one source. For example, we are getting from here SQL Server, and if I'm also going to get the data from any of my Excel file, I'm not sure whether I have it or not, but you can then get the data from there as well, and this is going to become your composite model. Sometimes we also call it a hybrid model. Then you have the recent sources, that means the data sources that you have used so far. If you would like to enter the data, that you can also do. You can simply come here, you can give it a name, column A, B, etc. Then you can enter data 1, 2, etc. Whatever you want, you can change the name over here, and that's become your new data table over here. And then when you're going to click over here, you would see that there's going to be a new table and you can use it. But I'm not going to enter data. In some cases, you may need it. And if you would like to edit it, you cannot edit directly. You have to come again here under the source part, which I'm going to explain you what is it, and then you have to edit it. Right now, I'm going to simply delete it. All right. Now, data source setting is the same that I just explained you through the file. It's going to be the same. You have to read more about it. Now, coming to the parameters. Parameters are very important part. We can create parameters in Power Query Editor, which you can see the window over here. And these parameters are going to help you to make the things dynamic. For example, if you have to change the source of this fact table, I'm going to just let you know where is the source over here basically. But if you want to change the connection after doing your work and when you publish the file on powerbi service, you want to change the connection. So definitely you are not going to download it again and change it. Rather than that, we create the parameters. This is an advanced topic, but when we are going to do the Power Query transformation in our upcoming videos, I'm going to let you know. There is a data set refresh as well. So you can refresh all the data from here. That's how it's going to refresh and bring the latest data over here. Then we have this properties pane, which is gonna just let you know about this table, that okay, what is the name of the table. If you want to give some of the important information over here, you can do that. And if you want to enable load on this table, that means whenever you refresh the data set or your semantic model, each time it should refresh or not, that's up to you. And you can see that including report refresh, which is include the query when refreshing your report in Power BI desktop and your data set in the Power BI service. So these are a couple of the options that you must remember. Now coming to the advanced editor, which is the most important part. And what is advanced editor? Well, Power Query Editor is going to use another language, which is mQuery language. So whatever transformation you are going to do, for example, over here, you will see the query settings. So each table is going to have certain steps over there. And furthermore, if whenever you are here and you want to make any of the changes, for example, let me just do one very quick change over here. For example, there are these 3 columns and I don't want these columns because I don't need them. So I'll just select this one and I hold the shift key. All 3 are selected and I can simply say remove these columns because I don't need them. As soon as any of my action is being performed on any of the table, then you would see that applied step has been incremented with another step. So this step over here, you can see this formula bar. So this is telling us what it's doing and it's using another language. It's not very difficult, but you have to understand it. Where it's saying table.remove column. So it's a function like in Excel files, you are creating formulas. So it's more like same. That is, Excel is very much similar to the DEX calculation, but this is mQuery language. And when you use it, it's going to ask you the table name and what columns you are asking it to remove. And it's going to add a table. But where this query is being stored, how it's being performed, well, that is happening in Advanced Query Editor. Here, everything is going to closed under let and in. Power Query Editor is going to let you know what is your mQuery or mashup language. Here, you would see the first step is the source, which you can see here. The steps names are going to be the same. Second is going to be the navigation, where it's going to find which database we are connecting to and which table. And then at last is removed column, which is this step. So this is Power Query Editor. This is Advanced Editor, where you would see what are all the steps being performed and what is the code behind them. As a Power BI beginner, you don't need it, but once you are going to have some experience, you may would like to check this out. I also mentioned that we can make it parameterized. That means this connection. So in our upcoming videos, we are going to parameterize this one too, so that you can change it whenever you want. So this was all about the Advanced Query Editor. Then next is choose column. And what is choose column? Basically, here you see you have lots of columns and certain times you just need 2 columns. So you can come here and you can say choose column and you can select any of the columns, or you can search when you have maybe thousands of columns in a table or something like that. You can sort, etc. and directly search it over here. Also, you can go to column if you would like to just go to one particular column. For example, I want to go to this title column. I'll just say, hey, title column and say okay, and it's gonna reflect this column. So it's just go to this column. If you would like to remove, when I clicked on that, I just right click and remove. All these transformation you are seeing over here, the same that you can get it over here. So there is no difference. So You can see that, okay, I want to remove the columns. You can remove it from here, and also you can remove other columns as well. For example, I want to just keep this column and I want to remove the other columns. Then I'll say, okay, remove other columns. Now other columns gone. However, if you would like to go back to one step, you can simply delete this step from here and you are in the previous step. That's how we do it over here. Isn't it easy? Well, if you have any questions on this home tab, please do let me know and I'm gonna answer your questions in the Q&A section. Now, there is a keep rows. In some cases it happens, I want to remove the top 2 rows or top 3 rows, or I want to remove the rows from the bottom. Then I'm gonna use this remove rows, remove from top, remove from bottom, etc. And these are the different options you have. So let's say I want to remove the bottom rows and I say, hey, remove bottom 100 rows and click OK. So you can see that it's going to remove the bottom 100 rows. And how do you get it? Well, over here, you just click it, right click over here, and you can see that it's going to preview the data based on 1000 rows, but you can do it entire data set only. So you have to simply click it over here. Now this is going to preview your all the data whenever you are selecting the filters over here, and here you have to always, load the data, or whenever you are going to view your data over here. Then you can say, hey, remove the rows. So right now, if I just remove this step, and I'm going to enable one property later on, which is going to check the total number of rows, then you would get to know that how it works, so that you can see actually the number differences between them. So keep rows, remove rows are the same. You can sort any column according to A to Z value, Z to A, that means ascending and descending. If you would like to split a column, that's also you can do. You can apply the different delimiters, etc., which we will do. So don't worry about that during the transformations. Then similarly, there's a group by. If you would like to summarize your data and you would like to group your data according to some countries or some last name, first name, that also you can do. Then you can also change the data type. So everywhere you would see the 1, 2, 3, that means it's an integer data type or whole number, which you can see that it's a whole number data type. Then over here you would see 1, 2, 3, again it's a whole number data type. But if you come here in the third column, it's saying ABC, that means it's a text. And similarly, if there would be decimal, then it would be like this, 1.2. So if you will see that, the type is decimal. So please do notice these ones. These are gonna let you understand that what kind of data types you are using, which is very helpful. Now, if I'm getting data from CSV file, then I need to promote my first line as a header, etc. Then you can do it using this. Furthermore, if you would like to replace any of the values, then you can use this. So replace, what to find and how to replace it. For example, you see here, it's saying Ajay Sharma 2061. So I can just take this value, find Ajay Sharma 2061 at gmail.com. And then I can replace it with something else. And if I want to apply something advanced feature, then I can use it over here. I'm not going to do it right now. I'm just telling you about these, and once in our upcoming videos we will go through the transformations, you will get to know. But please do try yourself and don't worry about that. Whatever you are doing, you can just delete the steps from here and it's gonna take you back to the original step. Then you have the merge queries. And merge query, what is it? So merge is basically your join operation. In SQL we have the left join, right join, all other joins. So this is the same as the merge queries. We can merge as a new query completely, or we can merge as a reference. So reference means if I'm going to merge these two queries using the reference, so what it's going to do, it's going to still take this one. And if there's any change in the first query, it's going to impact the other one. But if I do merge as a new, then no matter what changes I'm going to make in the first table, fact internet sales table, it's not going to impact this one. So these options you are going to get over here. Same is for append. Append is just you are adding the data in this table. So if I have to union, or if I have to join two tables, then I'm going to use the append queries, which is going to put data one above another. Combine file is for the folders. When you have a lot of files, you can combine. And then these are the advanced analytics features, which is like the text analytics, vision, Azure machine learning. These are the AI features. So this is it for this part of our Power BI tutorial. In the next part, we are going to explore the transform tab, that what are these options and how they can help you out. So please keep practicing, try to explore and also complete your assignment, and let us know in the Q&A section if you have any question or concerns.